Yeah, but there's a lot of like we had a doctor one time podcasting, and he was saying that there were like bullets that had gone down a child, like just crazy, like
shot down, like from a drone that's above him.
Yes, like something in the air. And he said that there were drones in the air all day. You know, there's that Palantir company just keeping tabs on everything that was happening. And now
Palantir's involved in Gaza.
Palantir was.
Oh my God, Joe! Don't you dare! Don't you dare, bro! You know that this is happening. Why are you acting like you don't know? Bro, you know what? The rumors are true. Joe is compromised. There's no way. This is such a strange thing. Bro, you're pretending. Look, bro, this is how you know someone that's pretending. Look at that face, bro. Oh my, Joe, come on, Brody. You know this is happening. Why are you acting like this? Hello guys, this is Joseph with Joseph Teaches Power Dynamics, and I am excited to talk to you guys today about Joe Rogan. So, for those of you who are still new to my channel and still learning, my objective for my channel is to talk about power dynamics. That is my ultimate focus. The reason why is because with power dynamics, you get to learn how people move within your life, within your relationships. You get to understand the difference between being manipulated as well as being controlled, and also you get to learn about positive and negative relationships. Believe it or not, there are such things as positive and negative relationships, and that's something that you get to learn as you watch more of my breakdown and also as you get vested into power dynamics. Power dynamics tend to play a role when it comes to relationships, whether it's relationship with self, relationship with a small group of people or society, or even relationships between two people, especially of the romantic type. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing a video about Joe Rogan, and the title of the video is How the JRE Podcast Destroyed Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan used to be the biggest anti-establishment voice in the world.
You've done zero research on this. You haven't looked into it at all. You're telling me we know all the animals that are in the world? I asked you for evidence.
This is evidence.
A guy saying something is not real evidence.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. You're telling me stories.
I'm telling you
Stories suck. They're great for campfires.
But recently, his audience has started to notice that something is very wrong about what the podcast has become today.
Everybody does.
Which people?
Countless
People?
Huh?
What are you saying?
What do you mean people? You talking about
What are you talking about?
black
Don?
folk? Who are
No.
you saying?
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Let's not draw conclusions.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Since the start of 2026, Joe Rogan's podcast has lost around 800,000 viewers, and the most recent videos are filled with endless.
You see, the thing that I'm beginning to notice, there's a certain controlled mechanism that I'm noticing with Joe, and this control mechanism is something that he's leveraging based on what I've seen so far on people within his close circle. And yeah, man, control itself can be dangerous if it's not understood or if it's not used properly. But let me continue.
Angry comments accusing him of being a compromised sellout. Even his own subreddit has turned against him. The tipping point for many of his fans was how he treated Theo Von in their last 2 episodes together. Theo infamously came on with genuine energy and emotion, talking about mass surveillance, conflict in the Middle East, and societal corruption, clearly looking to discuss these difficult and disturbing topics with someone he trusted. And if you watched this video we did on Theo before, you'll be well aware of how freaked out Theo Von is about these issues. But Joe spent both of these podcasts pushing back against Theo, constantly changing the subject and diverting to awkward jokes.
How much longer does Israel let us stay alive, do you think? That's the big question.
Why are they...
What did you say? Is that AI?
What are you saying?
That's Sora?
What are you saying?
I didn't say anything.
What are you saying?
Huh? Don't want Israel Adesanya.
Oh, well, he loves you. Don't worry about it.
Good call.
What are you saying, son?
So the thing about the dynamics that I'm picking up on when it comes to Joe and someone like, I think it's Theo Von, I believe that's his name, is this uncle nephew relationship dynamics where it seems to me as if Theo has always wanted to receive validation from Joe, or Theo likes the idea of validation from Joe. And I don't know how to frame this in a way that makes sense. I think that Joe is truly trying the best he can to come to the reality that things are changing in his life, but he does not really want to let it be known to people outside of the circle. But so far, what I'm picking up on with this dynamics between the two of them is that of someone that is trying to hide certain things, but also keep things kind of neutral. And the other person is more, I'm trying to challenge you. So I would say Theo is more trying to challenge Joe, while Joe is more a matter of let's protect the information and make it seem like everything is normal.
Yeah,
So
so
what did
much
he
fun.
say? What did he say about the Epstein files?
What did he say?
Let's hear what he said. It looks great.
So that's what made me start to think, oh, none of these guys are really on a side. There's this other third side that a lot of us can't see that is just kind of commandeering or fabricating or like infiltrating both sides.
If I could hum a song right now, I'd hum the Pink Floyd song Money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's what they were protecting, that cheddar.
That cat.
What does that have to do with what he is saying? I don't get it, bro. What are you doing, bro? Are you trying to like disguise or hide things from people? Like people, Joe, that was not. You didn't need to say that.
Cash, baby.
Protecting that cash. I mean, look how many people are fucking moving out of all these states that are trying to impose wealth taxes. They're trying to steal money from the people that are the most successful.
Did you guys notice how he quickly shifted the conversation? How he just kind of took the conversation and swung it over to a different topic? It's almost as if Joe is trying to control the flow of energy in this particular room. Pinpoint, look at the facial expression right there, brother. His facial expression and his body language, he's basically kind of trying to, guide Theo away from what Theo is trying to say. Man, that is interesting. Maybe Joe really is compromised, as people say.
Framing wealth inequality as stealing from the successful is one thing, but that had literally nothing to do with what Theo was trying to discuss. It was like Joe couldn't bear to validate Theo's concerns for the world. Instead, it ended with this.
But what also, it's like, it's all just a cat and mouse game. People are like, we'll elect the Democrats next time. It's like, but it's all the same shit has been happening forever. They haven't been helping anybody forever. They're letting politicians slurp on kids. All of our fucking money goes to Israel and they're using it to fucking genocide people. It's like everybody is scared out of their wits right now. It's like our religious leaders are afraid to speak out, and it's like it's a time where it's like,
I'm pausing here for a reason. Now, I will be reviewing a video that I did on power dynamics way back when, just like 2 years ago. One of the things that I'm noticing here is that Theo is using filler words. These filler words are words like, when someone says like, or I feel like, or anything that involves a passive expression of concern or passive expression of belief, it shows a certain level of self-insecurity, or it shows a certain level of unsurety within self. It seems to me as though Theo, in his relationship dynamics with people, may be someone that is constantly seeking some kind of validation or reassurance. If you're someone that's dealing with the mentality of using filler words, one of the things that you want to do is you want to start catching yourself using these filler words and start to replace them with either complete statements or you do a pause motion and then you make a statement, right? Now, also another thing that helps reduce filler words is what you say to yourself. When you build your confidence up, you may not want to use filler words. You might end up saying whatever it is that you want to say, but I normally will recommend replacing filler words, especially words like, or I feel like, with I believe, or you might say I know, or you might say I think. Anything that allows your brain to work a little bit more to exert more confidence.
Satan is amongst us, and our religious leaders are talking about bullshit at the poll. It's just like, what is going? I don't know, man.
You got to get you off those antidepressants, son. You're losing your fucking marbles.
You think I am?
Come hang out with us. Just chill.
I'm here.
Rather than engaging with Theo's points or supporting him as a friend, Joe just outright says he sounds insane, referencing his medication as the reason for his anxiety about the state of the world.
I would like to highlight that the commentator in this particular video is doing a very good job with breaking down the power dynamics flow within the Joe Rogan's podcast sphere. See, Joe Rogan's podcast, the flow of energy, especially in this example with Theo, is that of where Joe is a certain dominance over Theo, who is more the submitting individual. Because now I will say that there was a moment in the video where this was like a battle of will, but Theo isn't really committing to the fight, while Joe already senses the fight and is already put up the defensive to prevent a certain narrative, from getting out. It's almost like he's so used to controlling a lot of things that he just can't help but control Theo in this situation.
And the community response was brutal. Remember when Joe had a spine? Keep going, Theo, we got you. This is like the Truman Show when he finds out even his best friend is lying to him. Joe shutting down and mocking Theo for making very valid points should be the title for this one. Using Theo's use of antidepressants to gaslight him was such a low blow, and it was profoundly eye-opening. Joe Rogan, who's dedicated 1,500 episodes to alien conspiracies, won't even talk about Palantir and Israel conspiracies for more than 5 seconds. 2013 Joe would spit in this Joe's face. So Joe eventually apologized to Theo in a later podcast.
So I wanted to do this because, number one, because I feel bad. And whenever I feel bad about something, and I felt bad all weekend, I feel like I have to address this, where I just want him to be okay. A very unusual and very amazing person. The last thing I'd ever want to do is hurt that guy. And the last thing I'd ever want to do is say something that would have people think about him in a negative way, which I'm sure I did. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video.
Specifically for referencing Theo's mental health struggles in another podcast episode. This apology was actually not in its own video. It was tagged on at the end of the episode with the billionaire Mark Andreessen, who is one of the world's biggest financiers of AI surveillance and drone warfare. And there was something really bizarre and kind of insensitive about apologizing to Theo in the very same episode he lets a billionaire openly advocate for mass surveillance, transhumanism, and sympathy for the elite class. All the things that Theo was rallying against. Joe seems to love to push back against his friends, looking for an honest chat, but he can't bring himself to challenge the powerful people that got us in this situation in the first place, even when they're right in front of him.
So everybody, I see this with my 11-year-old right now, like everybody who...
Okay, so I'm pausing here so that we can dissect the energy, the power dynamic flow within this section of video with this guy and Joe. Now, listen. There are some people that may look at my content and say, man, why are you so fixated on power dynamics? Why are you so fixated on relationship dynamics? Why are you so fixated on things like this? Is because a lot of times when people don't know, they get controlled. If you don't understand what's happening within your relationships, within your interaction with people, within society or within different groups, you are susceptible to whatever game is being ran. There's so many different layers to this that my objective at some point is, as the channel grows, I'm going to make a more detailed video to break it down so you could understand why I'm reacting in the way I am, pausing, talking about flow of energy, control all those different things. But let's see the energy flow within this individual and Joe, and let's see how the power dynamic is in this case. Who's dominating who? Who's controlling who, etc. So
now is going to have AI as a augmentation, companion, capability, superpower, right? That they're going to have, where all of a sudden they have their own capability, and then they have this enormous other additional capability. And every time they need to figure something out, or every time they need to fill out a form, or every time they need to make an argument, or every time they need to try to just figure out a course of action, all of a sudden they have the ability to tap into this resource that can really help them solve just an extraordinary number of problems.
This Mark Andreessen is one of the biggest funders of military drone programs. So why did Joe never ask Andreessen about the drone program during this episode? Not even once. Instead, they went on for hours misrepresenting the critics of mass surveillance and AI, lecturing the public about how the billionaire class is treated unfairly, which clearly represented a major conflict of interest, as not only does Mark Andreessen have huge financial investments in these industries, he's also an advisor to the CEO of the AI company Perplexity, which is actually one of the biggest sponsors of the podcast. It's why Joe...
Whoa! What are you saying right now? Oh, this is not good, bro. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel sick right now, bro. Yo, this is crazy. This is insane right now, bro. Wow. Okay. So, for those of you who are wondering why I am reacting like this, the fact that this man that Joe's interviewing is sponsoring or funding the CEO of Perplexity, as the guy mentioned, the energy already is completely one-sided. When money is coming into your pocket, as somebody who is developing success or you came from nothing, and you're sitting across the table from somebody that you know has funded or is funding someone else that's paying your bills, it's kind of hard for you to give them the pushback that they need. You're already being dominated mentally by the person across from you and the organization that he has. We got group power dynamics at flow. We got relationship power dynamics between you and this individual at flow. And then there is a self power dynamics at flow in this scenario. Joe, in his mind, may be so concerned that if he pushes back at this person, he's going to not only lose funding, but he's going to lose whatever circle that he's trying to get into. This is interesting. I am quite fascinated.
Joe has to use it constantly on air to answer questions. Although his community says he's selling out, but this doesn't necessarily mean that Joe is doing this on purpose. Maybe he really is just unaware of the topics people bring up on his podcast. I mean, that's certainly consistent with how this conversation went with Theo Von.
Dude, in Gaza, there was a lot of I think it was a experimental grounds for a lot of insane new warfare type of possibilities.
Well, a lot of it was traditional missiles, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of like we had a doctor one time podcasting, and he was saying that there were bullets that had gone down a child, just crazy,
shot down, from a drone that's above them.
Yes, something in the air. And he said that there were drones in the air all day. There's that Palantir company just keeping tabs on everything that was happening. And
Palantir's involved in Gaza?
Palantir was.
Oh my God, Joe! Don't you dare! Don't you dare, bro! You know that this is happening. Why are you acting like you don't know? Bro, you know what? The rumors are true. Joe is compromised. There's no way. This is this is such a strange thing. Bro, you're pretending. Look, bro, this is how you know someone that's pretending. Look at that face, bro. Oh my Joe, come on, Brody. You know this is happening. Why are you acting like this?
Multi-Gaza, yeah.
For sure?
Mm-hmm.
Put that into perplexity.
It would suit Joe to be oblivious to this, considering the billionaire behind Palantir, Peter Thiel, has in fact been a guest on the podcast. Joe's even been to his house not once but twice, and has a very friendly relationship with him. Which begs the question, is Joe intentionally protecting him?
The humans are on the way out. I know a lot of people hate it when Peter Thiel says it, like, Peter Thiel is a terrible person, he's evil. He's
Do you think he is?
No. I think he's just telling you the truth. I think
He's telling you the truth. Oh my God, brother. Yo, this has to be one of the most complex, like, spectrum of relationship dynamic flows that I've ever seen, man. Okay, so let me I've been I've been extremely reactive to this particular video. So let me kind of break things down a little bit so that you guys understand why I am reacting. So that you guys understand why I'm reacting to why I'm reacting. So the first thing I want to acknowledge is that Joe himself, coming from a background where a lot of people have to earn what it is that they have, comes into a situation where he creates an audience and creates a show that attracts a lot of attention, that gets a lot of money funded to it. Joe, knowing that this is the case, becomes comfortable within the lifestyle that he's created and is now kind of pulling back all the stuff that got him popular in the first place, which is obviously what the documentary is talking about. What I want to really highlight is the dynamics that are flowing within this situation. You have a man who had a certain belief that changed over time. You had a man who used to hold people accountable and really enjoy learning new things through his podcast, to now a man who's just doing it just because it's a job or just because it's money coming in. It's something to do because it's making me money, right? The level of fun and enjoyment that he has had within his career has changed to where it's just I got to keep this up because this is what's paying me the most money. So when he meets people like Peter Thiel and all these wealthy individuals, those individuals who already have great wealth, he's kind of finding a way to try to keep a good, gracious relationship with them. He basically likes to submit to these people when it comes to their power flow, and he likes to allow himself to be controlled within those relationship dynamics.
He's, when they said, do you think human beings should survive? And he had like this long pause.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And then the interviewer was like, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I think human beings should, which is not how you're supposed to do an interview. Well, at least not how I do it. I would let him talk as long as he wants. Like, if you watch my podcast that I did with him, is these long ass stammers. So he's like, everything he does, he wants to be very careful before he answers it. So he wants to consider what he's saying.
This becomes even stranger when you realize that Peter Thiel was one of the early investors in Spotify during crucial rounds of raising funds. Spotify is, of course, the same company that offered Joe Rogan the $200 and $250 million contracts to host his podcast on their platform. There's no way to know for sure if these are relevant connections, but it does go to show how all of these same repeat guests are somehow linked through the same people, the same companies, the same industries, and the same power structures. But that's only scratching the surface of these bizarre connections. Peter Thiel is an alarming figure not only for the military AI and surveillance programs of Palantir, but also for his connections to CIA funding, his obsession with the return of the Antichrist, and his infamous belief that all industry should be monopolized. Not to mention his possible friendships and connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein even described Peter Thiel as a great friend. They met in person multiple times a year, and Epstein invested $40 million into Thiel's venture capital fund. Epstein also actively pushed Thiel's rising political influence. Now, Joe did bring up Epstein during the podcast, only for Thiel to downplay the involvement of foreign intelligence agencies and Epstein. Seemingly at the moment, there's no public witnesses that allege Epstein worked for the CIA, but there have been multiple witnesses to say Mossad was the key player involved in the operation, including victim Maria Farmer, Epstein's business partner Stephen Hoffenberg, and the ex-Israeli spy handler Ari Ben-Menash.
I went down all these rabbit holes. Was he, working for the Israelis or the Mossad or all this sort of stuff? And I've come to think that was very secondary. It was obviously, it was just the U.S. if you're working for Israel, you don't get protected. And we had Jonathan Pollard. He went to jail for 25 years or whatever. And
but unrelated, right?
Understood. But if it was an intelligence operation, the question we should be asking is what part of the U.S. intelligence system was he working for?
This episode was the perfect opportunity for Joe to push Theo about Palantir, mass surveillance, Epstein, or transhumanism and AI. The list of topics his audience wanted him to ask was near endless, but instead the podcast episode seemingly fell flat. Yet it's not just about Peter Thiel, far from it. After the physicist Lawrence Krauss came on the podcast, he later tried to personally introduce Joe to Epstein via email, and Joe rightfully rejected this, calling out he had no interest in ever meeting Epstein to begin with, which is something most celebrities can never say. And then there's the celebrity doctor Peter Attire, who constantly messaged Epstein and routinely gave him medical advice.
All right, so the rest of the video goes into more details about the downfall of Joe Rogan and all the other conspiracies and things that he may be involved in. All right, so what I'm going to do is this, right? I'm going to have the link of the video in the description below. I want to give my final thoughts and everything. I would say Joe's compromised. And I think it has to do with money. But in Joe's case, I would say it's more a power dynamics than anything. Because the way I'm looking at it, Joe is the leader of his group. He is the kind of person that is more above everyone when it comes to the control, the influence, the flow of power. Whatever Joe says, they believe and trust, and a lot of them want to associate with Joe. Joe has gained a lot of financial success and financial wealth. Any destruction that Joe is going through, if any, is obviously going to be self-inflicted. I think Joe is someone that's being changed by influence of wanting to become a part of the elite. I would say that the group dynamics at play with Joe is more of the acceptance variety, wanting to become like, and would do things to accommodate because he wants to be liked and received and appreciated by these great, wealthy, success individuals. So to wrap up that whole thing with Joe, I'll say that Joe's power dynamics, the most successful people being at the top, Joe puts himself in the middle, and all his friends and all the other individuals connected to him are more at the bottom spectrum. Based on the energy that I've seen in the video, with how he interacts with his friend, i.e. Theo Von, versus how he interacts with these other individuals who are very successful, who he wants to be friends with. So if you're somebody that is in a relationship dynamics or group dynamics, or even in a scenario where your self-internalized thought is defeating, or you may find yourself looking for validation from other people, my recommendation to you is to do a self-reflection and create a version of yourself that is worthy of, right? You want to create a version of yourself that has the things that you want and reverse engineer it back to where you are. I think that Joe is a person that wants to become a billionaire. I think that Joe is a person that wants to become like these men. And I think the automatic mechanism that's going on in Joe's brain is to, try to be super cozy with these people and be nice to them, because by doing that, it opens up more opportunity for him to make more money. I don't know if the Spotify deal affected that. Maybe it did affect him in that way, to think that the nicer he is, the more money he's going to make. But it seemed as though the desire to make more money and have consistent money flow has overridden Joe's desire to want to be real on camera. All right, but that's all it is with that. Just to close everything up even more, if you are somebody that likes the idea of learning more about power dynamics, I'm going to be putting together a full community and, of course, different things that will benefit you as well. But that's it for today's video. I look forward to looking for the comment section, see how you guys feel about the video. Let me know your take on the things that I am talking about, how you feel about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and support the channel. And I'll see you on the next video.